Welcome back. You're watching In Your Interest. I'm Shweta Kothari. The Parliament's Public Accounts Committee or PAC has asked for a detailed review of the Securities and Exchange Board of India's accounts for the fiscal year 22-23 and 23-24, according to a report published on Moneycontrol today. Now, this will be the first such scrutiny of market regulators' performance. The media report says that the panel has sought data from Finance Ministry by 27th of September, that is today, and the PAC is also likely to summon SEBI chairperson Madhabi Puri Buch in its next meeting on 4th of October. Now, Congress leader K.C. Venugopal chairs the PAC and comprises members from both the ruling coalition as well as the opposition India bloc. Remember, SEBI is an autonomous body and the Finance Ministry provides it budgetary support, also helps shape the legislative framework for India's securities market. The committee's review of SEBI comes at a time when Madhabi Puri Buch is facing a barrage of allegations, including those levelled by Hindenburg Research of a conflict of interest regarding SEBI's investigation into the Adani Group. And since then, she's been faced with a lot of controversy. But what does the parliamentary committee meeting means for SEBI as well as for Buch in particular? Let's talk about that. Joining us is Subhash Chandra Garg. He is the former finance secretary. Sir, thank you very much for taking time out. Now, this will be what we're hearing. It will be a review, a financial review of the regulator. Is that a cause of worry for SEBI?
No, you see, the PAC has jurisdiction to call for the review of the accounts of any of the public sector and undertakings, the government departments, or whoever receives or pays something to the government. So SEBI, as per the SEBI law, there is a provision that the government can provide assistance to SEBI, though in practice it doesn't provide because SEBI's earnings itself are much more than what the SEBI requires its expenditure for. There is another angle which is very interesting in the case of SEBI, is that the SEBI's income, which it earns by way of penalties, belong to the government, so that need to go to the government. Then the surplus which the SEBI earns also has been legislated in 2018-19 to be passed in a certain proportion to the government.
Okay.
Now, whether the government is getting that or not, so that those are the aspects which, from the purely accounting perspective, the PAC can definitely look into it. The other thing which you referred, calling SEBI for a chief for the allegations against her, are not directly related to the PAC's mandate, to my mind. But whenever such a scrutiny happens with the accounts, no one prevents the members from raising the questions which
Absolutely.
are related.
So, why I'm asking Mr. Chandra is because the timing is a suspect, sir. And this has come at a time when questions are, of course, being raised on SEBI chair, her advisory firm, her consultancy firm, and where she's mentioned categorically that wherever there was a conflict of interest with a client, which was a client of her husband's advisory firm, because she had relinquished her duties and she had relinquished her share of the advisory firm, she excused herself from sitting in those meetings and from adjudicating on those matters. So essentially, there could be questions raised as to the questions that are being raised otherwise of Madhabi Puri Buch.
That's quite correct. You see, there is discrepancy in what she said, that she has made all the recusal related made recusals and also disclosures which are required. But recently, when in a public RTI kind of inquiry, SEBI officially said that we don't have even the record of recusals made. So while on one and the disclosures. So while on one hand she has said this, the SEBI officially has refused to sort of either part with it or even confirm that they have the record. So these are the contradictions which the PAC at the time when it reviews account, because she is the chief executive of the SEBI, can always raise questions. And no one can prevent the members from raising any questions which are directly or indirectly related to the performance of SEBI in terms of its accounts, profits, and
Absolutely. So does that make it suspicious, sir? Because as you rightly pointed out, PSC has never called SEBI earlier.
No, see, of course, there is this interest, which we know publicly, that the Congress and the opposition party wanted her to question, but you can't question her directly. So a way perhaps has been found where by sort of questioning the accounts, which legally and constitutionally you can do it. So by that means so whether suspicion, of course, people are trying, the opposition is trying to use whatever leeway or loophole or the foothold it has in questioning her or written or raising sort of questions to her. I think they're trying to use it. It's not illegal,
Okay.
so you can't do this.
All right. And I want to bring our audience's attention to what the PAC or the PSC has requested. It has requested documents including SEBI's receipts and payments. It's a CAG audit report, the regulator's internal audit committee observations. What do you think the PSC is trying to achieve here?
See, this is the standard operating process. Whenever you want to do the accounts related review of any government organization, call for the annual report, call for the annual accounts, call for the auditors' observations, call for the internal audit reports and things like that. So there is nothing wrong. I think what has been asked is what is a legitimate function of the PSC, and that's why the finance ministry will provide it. What is not very clear and what is not so clean is what exactly you are going to ask from her, and what your report finally. By the way, PSC's reports are drafted finally by the CAG itself, because CAG services the PSC. So whether CAG will include those aspects which are not related to accounts into the report, I don't think they can refuse to do it. But whether any action would be recommended or those things will be said will be watched very carefully. But obviously, the committee, and you remember the BJP related members had questioned her to be summoned by the PSC, and then that is no longer the case. The legitimate way of sort of examining the accounts and calling the chief executive for understanding and examining those accounts is the way found, which is legitimate in my judgment.
All right, and it does look like she will be summoned by the PSC on 4th of October, at least that is what we are learning right now. Perhaps more details will come out then. Subhash Chandra Garg, always a pleasure, sir. Thank you very much for taking time out.
Thank you very much, Shweta. Thank you. Bye.
And that's all we have on this show. Thank you very much for watching.